BJ Mafia, what's poppin'? So your Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Indianapolis Colts today 31-21. Trevor Lawrence gets his first Week 1 victory of his career. The Jaguars get their first win in Indy since 2017, and the Jaguars are in sole possession of first place in the AFC South. The Colts, the Texans, and the Tennessee Titans all lost today. The Jaguars are the #1 team in the AFC South, and this Jaguars team is extremely special. Yeah, there was a lot of ups and flows and a lot of, different emotions within this game, just like any other football game. But the Jaguars are on pace to go 17-0 this year. Jags fans, let's actually go ahead and talk about this game. Now, before I actually get into talking about this game, man, I want to give a huge shout out to each and every single one of you guys, man, for showing me a lot of love and support on my latest video, Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars Dynasty, A New Era. This whole cinematic documentary I put together as kind of a hype feel for you guys to get ready for this season. It's something I had never done before, and sure, was it perfect? Absolutely not. It's far from it, but it's something I enjoyed, I'm very passionate about, and it's something I want to continue to develop my craft with. Even if I'm not doing a whole 30-minute cinematic documentary, it's something that I want to continue to do better at, and you guys enjoyed it a lot, and I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for continuously showing me love on that video and here on the channel. But now let's actually go ahead and talk about this football game in Week 1, and like I do for every single recap video, I always go ahead and talk about the opponent first. That's going to come with the Indianapolis Colts, and let's talk about them. I thought that the Colts today put together a relatively good performance, and the Colts were able to keep this as a very tight game, especially down to the wire, prior to Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne getting 2 late go-ahead touchdowns to really put this game away. And I thought Shane Steichen in his first game as an NFL head coach and Anthony Richardson at 21 years of age really made this game competitive, and it really kept the Jags fans on their heels. And you got to give a lot of credit to this Indianapolis Colts team. Let's talk about Anthony Richardson in his debut at just 21 years of age. 24 of 37 throwing the ball, 1 touchdown to 1 interception. He had a quarterback rating of 79, and Anthony Richardson also had 10 carries for 40 yards. We knew that Anthony Richardson, coming out of Florida, who only had 13 starts, was going to have some rust. There was going to be some inaccuracy issues, but we also knew this guy was extremely talented. He was extremely athletic, and he was going to be able to make a lot of plays, especially with his legs. He was able to evade pressure. He was able to go ahead and make a lot of those plays with his legs getting out of the pocket. And he played the game, I thought, pretty well for his first NFL start. And Anthony Richardson really played this game like a game-managing rookie quarterback. He took what was there. He was able to evade pressure. He took the checkdowns when it was there for the running backs, and the Jaguars were able to force Anthony Richardson into a lot of those opportunities where the Jaguars defense was able to capitalize on it. You got to give a lot of credit to him, and you got to also give a lot of credit to Michael Pittman Jr., who's one of the best young wide receivers in the game of football. He carved up our defense in that second half. 8 receptions, 97 yards, and 1 touchdown by him. And in an offense that did not have their 2 best running backs in Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss, the Colts offense was able to still put up 14 points, but I thought that they did a relatively good job in general. And then when you talk about the Indianapolis Colts and what they did defensively, yeah, the Jaguars did score 31 points, but I think when you actually go back and watch what the Colts did, if you did watch the game, and I'll have a much better judgment of it tomorrow when I go ahead and actually watch the tape, the Colts defense did a relatively good job on this Jaguars offense. The Jaguars offense only went 3 of 12 on 3rd down conversions, and they went 1 of 3 on 4th down conversions. I thought Shane Steichen, Gus Bradley, and that defense did a relatively good job on that Jaguars offense. And you got to give a lot of credit to guys like Kwity Paye, DeForest Buckner, and Shaquille Leonard, who were consistently out there making a lot of plays and disrupting this Jaguars offense. But let's actually go ahead and actually talk about the Jaguars offense and what I really thought about them. And I'm of course going to talk about quarterback at the helm, William Trevor Lawrence, aka Mr. Sunshine, Jacksonville's Jesus, the prince that was promised, whatever nickname you have for him. Trevor Lawrence played a really good game, I thought, in Week 1. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. Were there some things to clean up? Yes, there were. But Trevor Lawrence played a pretty good Week 1 game despite the 2 turnovers, and one of them I could basically say wasn't his fault. The interception that Tank Bigsby had that was right off of his hands, I'm not going to blame Trevor Lawrence for that. And then also number 2, the fumble that eventually ended up being returned for a touchdown by DeForest Buckner. Trevor Lawrence got hit from the blind side. The ball was not in a forward motion, so of course it's a fumble. Not really going to blame Trevor Lawrence for that, but you know what? Despite all of that, he still had 2 turnovers in the game. We'll go ahead and clean it up. But Trevor Lawrence in this week 1 matchup was 24 of 32, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. He was sacked twice, but he also had a quarterback rating of 103.8. Great game overall by Trevor Lawrence. I don't know how he threads that ball to Calvin Ridley on a couple of those throws. Trevor Lawrence did have some great throws as well in general, a couple to Evan Ingram that I thought were some great passes. He also had a couple where he threw across his body running to the left side. Just great accuracy overall for the most part on Trevor Lawrence's part, except for that pass to Christian Kirk that was way behind him. That was a bad one, but we'll negate that. Travis Etienne have a hell of a game today. He had 103 yards from scrimmage. He was 18 of 77 on the ground for that touchdown. He also had that 26-yarder in the 4th quarter, which ended up being a touchdown. And then in the receiving game, Travis Etienne, 5 catches for 27 yards. When you also talk about the receiving department, let's give a big shout out, man, to Calvin Ridley, bro. Agent Zero in his first NFL game back in over 600 days. In his Jaguars debut, Calvin Ridley was 8 catches, 101 yards, and 1 touchdown. Calvin Ridley is the real deal. This guy's gonna have an all-pro season, and he might be a top 5 wide receiver, statistically speaking, at the end of the season. He proved why the Jaguars went out and traded for him and how he's gonna make this offense extremely potent and dynamic. Zay Jones, have a hell of a game too, man. 5 receptions, 55 yards, and he had that crazy touchdown catch. What a hell of a play by him. Evan Ingram back with the Jaguars on that new contract, 5 receptions, 49 yards. Evan Ingram, I thought, put together a very nice performance. And even though Christian Kirk only had 1 catch for 9 yards early on in the game, he was basically a no-show, but we know Christian Kirk can still go out there and be an extremely valuable commodity to this Jaguars offense. I gotta talk about Tank Bigsby. While he did not start very good, he had 2 critical turnovers, the one that went right through his hands that led to an interception. And Tank Bigsby also had the fumble in which Trevor Lawrence fumbled the ball. Tank Bigsby recovered it, but didn't get back on the ground. Look, I understand it's your first game. I understand, there's gonna be a lot of butterflies and a lot of anxiety that comes along with that. I'm gonna give him a pass because you know what? It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Tank Bigsby finished the game well. He pushed the pile towards the pylon, and then he was also able to convert and get that 1-yard touchdown score in his first NFL game. I'm happy for Tank Bigsby. I'm very happy for Tank Bigsby. You're gonna learn from your mistakes. Let's not repeat those same mistakes. Let's go out there and try to correct that and continue to fix that, because I still believe Tank Bigsby is gonna be an incredible 1-2 punch with Travis Etienne in the backfield. Now let's actually talk about the Jaguars defense, man, because you gotta give them a lot of credit for the way that they played, because yes, Anthony Richardson went down the field and he ended up getting that quarterback rushing touchdown, which got him his first NFL rushing touchdown and his first touchdown of his career. Yes, the Jaguars defense also allowed Michael Pittman Jr. to go down the field on that screen pass and to get that huge touchdown down the field. But the Jaguars defense really only allowed 14 points in this game. They had the interception that Tyson Campbell had. Josh Allen had a career high 3 sacks today, and Josh Allen in a contract year, I've said it once and I'll say it yet again, Josh Allen is gonna have the best season of his career in a contract year. He's gonna ball out this year, and that's gonna be because also Trayvon Walker on the opposite side, he definitely was not perfect today either, but I think Trayvon went out there and made a good amount of plays, even that didn't show up on the stat sheet, even though he did have 1 sack. Trayvon Walker, opposite of Josh Allen, is gonna take a lot of pressure off of him and a lot of eyes off of him. But even when Josh Allen wasn't getting into the backfield and sacking the quarterback, he was making a lot of plays in the backfield, disrupting Anthony Richardson in that run game. You gotta give a big shout out, man, to Josh Allen. There's been a lot of Jags naysayers on the TL about Josh Allen, and he proved his worth yet again today. Josh Allen is probably and easily our best defensive player. I feel pretty confident in saying that. It's not just today. He's been throughout the years, and last year he was, this year he is, and I really expect a huge year from Josh Allen, man. I'm extremely excited to see what the future holds for him. Foyce Oluokun led the team in tackles, 12 tackles today. Rayshawn Jenkins, Andre Sisco, these guys had some big hits out there. Darius Williams was doing a great job deflecting a lot of passes. Just an overall great game by the defense. They were coming into this matchup feeling very confident, and because they're going against a rookie quarterback in Anthony Richardson. Loves what I saw from this defense. And the last big shout out I have to give to is with the special teams, and it's gonna be with the guy that all my homies love, man, Jamal Agnew. He could have very well and easily had saved this game for us, man. You guys got to give Jamal Agnew his flowers. There's been a lot of Jamal Agnew naysayers out there on the Jaguars TL, not just this offseason, but in general. Jamal Agnew's in the last year of his Jaguars contract after coming over from the Detroit Lions in the 2021 offseason. Jamal Agnew has consistently saved this team's ass repeatedly. Last year versus the Titans, last year versus the Chargers, now today versus the Indianapolis Colts. There's probably some other games off the top of my head I can't recall. Jamal Agnew is a dynamic and special playmaker, man. And look, man, I love Jamal Agnew. Me and all my homies, we love Jamal Agnew, man. He very well saved that Jaguars team with the momentum, and he really put the Jaguars offense in a great field position with that huge 48 punt return that set the Jaguars up eventually for that touchdown. Big shout out, man, to Jamal Agnew, man. Give him his flowers. Respect this man, and this guy's a dynamic playmaker, man. Just want to give a big shout out, man, to Jamal Agnew and everything he's done for this team. And yes, there's definitely some things I want to see cleaned up, especially when you talk about the interior of the offensive line. Really not playing up to par. Walker Little did not have the best of games, but like I said, when I go back and watch the film, I'll be a lot more critical and analytical in a lot of the ways that I watched the tape. Also, Press Taylor, the play calling, I'm going to give you a pass. It was your first game, but Press Taylor and that play calling definitely need to get a lot better. 3 straight Tank Bigsby runs was not going to cut it. A quarterback sneak on 3rd and 2, that's not going to cut it. A 4th and 1 pitch to Travis Etienne is not going to cut it. But Press Taylor, I'll cut you some slack. We put up 31 points offensively speaking. We got to be better in week 2. The Jaguars got to prepare for Kansas City and a pissed off Patrick Mahomes coming to Duval County in week 2, man. Jags fans, what a time it is to be alive, man. Let me know your guys' thoughts and comments down below about today's week 1 performance, man. Colts fans, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. But Jags fans, that's it for this video. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys go ahead and drop me a thumbs up. And if you guys enjoyed the Jaguars getting a victory, make sure you guys go ahead and drop me a thumbs up. If you guys are also new here, consider hitting that subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube. And make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me on my socials, especially on Twitter. I'm very active and I'm on there every single day. The link tree will be in the description down below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But Jags fans, thanks again for sticking around throughout the whole video. Brett James, aka BJ, I'm out, y'all. Go Jags, baby. Peace.